For more on this, I'm now joined by Duane Bratt. He's a political science professor at Mount Royal University. Duane, appreciate your time on this, on what is, a very difficult conversation to have here. A lot of
Yeah.
people in mourning, of course. This now, questions, of course, are now being asked in terms of how the Green Party is going to move forward on this. There is an election that is taking place on Tuesday, but they have a candidate or I should say that there is now an area where they have to ask the question in terms of what they need to do in terms of moving forward, now dealing with this tragic loss.
Well, the election itself is not being delayed, but it appears that the Green Party, as well as the other parties, have stopped campaigning over the weekend. So my guess is there will be no more campaigning until the vote on Tuesday. P.E.I. is a bit of a different jurisdiction in the sense that it is so small and everybody knows everybody on the island, and so that complicates matters. As far as this particular riding, there's still a lot of questions I haven't seen fully cleared up by the chief electoral officer. He has said that the vote count will be delayed. Does that mean the vote will be delayed or that they will just count the votes later? Given that it is Saturday and the vote is on Tuesday, I believe that is way too late to replace a candidate on the ballot. The ballots have already been printed.
Yeah.
So if the Green candidate does win, then there would be a by-election that would immediately falls forward. I do not know whether under PEI law, because every province has its own laws, whether he would be automatically disqualified because he died before the election.
Right. Okay, we'll have to keep a close eye on how things unfold there. Newfoundland also having election taking place here. I wanted to ask you about Dwight Ball. The election's been called early. I believe it's mid-May, May 12th. What are you expecting to see happening there?
I mean, this will be very interesting because there has been a wave of conservative victories in provinces. And when you look at the economic downturn that has hit Newfoundland, they've already switched parties once since the drop in the price of oil in 2014, which was in 2015 when the Liberals won. But are we going to see a snap back to the Conservatives because of the state of the economy? That has been quite common in many Atlantic provinces lately where you have one-term governments. And given the economic conditions, which mirror, in fact, are worse than what we saw in Alberta, and we saw a complete reversal here. Are we going to see that as well in Newfoundland, particularly now that we've seen conservative parties winning in Quebec, winning in Ontario, winning in Brunswick, winning in Manitoba, and in Alberta? Is that pattern going to continue?
Yeah, and how do you think, looking sort of bigger picture, how that's going to play out come October?
I'm not sure the Newfoundland election by itself will really factor into the federal
No, but
election.
overall, though, Duane.
But we often see these snapbacks. So, the reason that there were so many Liberal and NDP governments when Justin Trudeau came to power was because of the reaction to Stephen Harper. This is now a reaction in part to Justin Trudeau. And so he comes to power surrounded by allies around the First Minister's table. Now he is not.
Yeah, should be interesting to keep a close eye on how things develop in all of, those two regions, as well as the overall election in October. Duane Bratt in Calgary. A pleasure, Duane. Appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you.
You're welcome.